Well, it started raining 2 o'clock this morning. I was supposed to go and trim, but the client rang up and decided to call it all off because the weather's so miserable. So I couldn't make a video on that, but just going back, having a look over some old videos, I came across this one. And I thought, well, perhaps if I redo that and show you what things were like when I first come down here, and I guess I've got a little bit more adamant about the things I do, but basically still running along the same philosophies. So I hope you enjoy what I put together. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Little bell down here somewhere to remind you of when I put up future videos. And I also have a PayPal account if you'd like to donate to help keep these guys going. Hay is 5 times more expensive now than when I first came down here, which is equivalent now to feeding about 50 horses. So it takes a lot of trimming to keep up with supplying them with their hay, considering they're pretty much all paddock ornaments now. So let's just go and have a look at me with my spectacles on when I first came here.
Right, my name's Richard Woolley and we're in Maryborough in central Victoria, right beside the Havelock State Forest, and we're here horsing about, I guess. My connection with horses goes right back till I was a little fella, I guess, when horses were actually being used as a in work. The baker's cart, the milk cart, riding on them, and just grown up over the years. It's not until recent years, I guess, getting a bit longer in the tooth, and I don't know whether more wise or not, but and a famous man once said, it's ask not what horses can do for you, but ask what you can do for horses. So I guess it's a little bit perhaps of making up a little bit for the way horses have been treated in the past and the way they still tend to be getting treated and the way they should be treated.
And why are you so passionate about horses though? Like, you could be, you know, having lots of dogs or cats, but what is it about the horse that you love? This is about your passion for horses.
Well, I guess all horses, I don't have a favourite, and if I'm going to relate it to any particular horse, I guess, or a perfect example is one I've got here called Butternuts, who was given to me when he was completely lame, with care from us and a lady that I eventually gave him to. He's become probably one of a great advocate of barefoot horses, and a great advocate of being a rescue horse. And some people think I'm strange, but he actually does verbalise to me, talk to me, which they're not supposed to do. I've been through a number of rough periods in my life, and for some reason, whenever I've come out of them, there's always been a horse involved somewhere along the line.
And so what have you started here with your, love for, actually, you're passionate about horses, but you're passionate about the treatment of horses. Can you tell me about that?
It goes back to a big learning curve, I guess. I was a mature age student at university, and when I came out I knew everything. But like most people that come out of uni, I guess, I guess the big thing really that I did learn was how to research, and when I got seriously involved with horses as a business, I did things along traditional lines. Cut a long story short, through one thing and another, I started to do a lot of research into horses. And from that research into horses, we've taken a completely different track along, I guess, what's called, I hate the terminology, but natural horsemanship lines. Come here, get out of that. And when I can come out and get involved with the animals like this bloke that's about to eat your camera, on my ute. Yeah, so, and I've just lost where we were going.
That's all right. Okay, let's pick it up with you're passionate about horses, so you're connecting with horses, but you're passionate about their treatment.
Right.
Why are you passionate about their treatment? What is it about their treatment and that you see that needs that you're connected to?
Right. All right, I guess one of the big things that's I guess made me, or keeps making me more passionate about horses is that I believe there's a lot of horses out there that are owned by people that shouldn't have them. And why I say that is I do a lot of barefoot trimming and I do a lot of rehabilitation of horses with terrible feet. Most of the time because of lack of knowledge on the part of the owner, I guess, and that all goes back to the way horsemanship is taught. There's just not enough taught about the right things in regard to horsemanship. It's all about the rider. After all these years and watching the way horses went through being part of our life in regard to working, we didn't have much option back then, but we've got cars now. We don't have to use horses and abuse horses like that anymore. The whole trend in horsemanship is changing towards a gentler approach, I guess, or pain-free, whatever you want to call it, and that's the way we've gone. I learn from the horses every day. Like everybody else, we've got problems in life, and if I want to forget about it, I just go out and spend time with the horses. And from what you've seen today, you can see that they all react to me fairly well as well. My passion...
So it's horsemanship is the thing for you. The connection between humans and the horse, yeah?
Yeah, the connection between the human and the horse, if you want to call that horsemanship, it's the way of handling horses rather than riding horses. It gets back to what I said. What can I do for the horse? Because surely enough, you go about it the right way, that particular horse is going to show you its individual spirit, if that's what you want to call it. It's going to do different things for you that no other horse will do unless you take a whip to it or whatever. Horses generally know everything there is to do. It's just a matter of you being... Oh, there goes my windscreen wiper. It's just a matter...
Shall I check that?
Yeah.
Fine. Yep. How are you? What are you doing? What's the way that you are treating these horses?
Let's bring the revision mirror. Get out of that! Just get out of that! It's my revision mirror. I guess that's
Okay, let's start it again.
Yeah.
Just come in a bit closer.
Right.
Yep, that's good. Hang on. Yep, let's go.
Right. That wasn't being
that
naughty. That wasn't being naughty, by the way. That was just curiosity. And one of the way a horse checks out things, I guess, with his teeth. They're not always being, and I guess they're that's mistaken a lot of the time, and they get they suffer for it.
Can I ask you again, like how you got into horses? Like you had a special horse, and there was obviously some sort of connection there. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, my first horse, I guess, or it was never my horse. It was my brother's, but I was the only one that rode it. And her name was Amarina, and she was retired racehorse, thoroughbred, and she was 29 years old when I got her. And I guess she'd been to a certain extent been there and done that, but in those days I was on a dairy farm. And she got to the point that, and I look back now at the way people camp draft and that sort of thing, but she got to the point she was that good with cattle that all I had to do was sit there, and once she realised what I wanted, a particular beast or something, she'd just go and do all the work for me. I can remember many times when I should have been out riding her when I was sitting on the ground instead of on her back, and but when you're young you can bounce and learn all those things, and unfortunately she died very sadly one night, but she wasn't young either. So I've got very fond memories of Amarina.
And tell me about this farm and what you're doing here and where these horses come from.
Right. Most of the horses we've got here are all rescues for one way or another. with the racing industry these days, there's something like 18,000 horses a year end up at the knackery, so I'm pretty much dead against the racing industry, unfortunately. For some people don't like that. Most of the horses here are rescued. Some of them have come from nice people. They just wanted to find a nice home for their horse rather than send it somewhere else. They like the way I do things. I've only purchased 3 horses that were here, and the dearest one that I have purchased is buried over there, unfortunately. He was the sort of horse that if you were riding him and something happened and you had to do something about it, by the time you thought about it, he was already doing it.
Great. Why do you care so much when so many people don't?
I guess the reason I care so much when so many people don't is because so many people don't. I came across a situation the other day of 2 rescue horses. They weren't mine, but they were rescued by some lovely young kids from a place where the guy just said, "Oh, I got a hold of these 2 horses, I was going to shoot them and use them for dog meat." So I guess that some people treat horses like chattels. My guys are all part of the family. This is the man that speaks to you.
Can we get some connection going on?
Yeah. Nutsy. Hey. Nuts. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come here. How's that? You're going to speak to the camera for me. You're going to tell him something? Tell him how special you are. You're going to tell him how special you are? I'll show you. Just look at him. Just look at your foot. You shake hands for me. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Up here. Come here. Up here. Up here. Put it up here. That's my boy. Hey. There you go. And he's not even mine. Used to be. Didn't you? Hey.
Can you tell me about it's like a very natural method of being with horses? Like, you're not into putting saddles on them?
I do actually.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. I use bitless bridles, what they call cordeo, which is just a rope around the neck. And that bloke that I was just with there, I ride him just round a paddock with nothing, with free. I can do that with 3 of them here. Different horses give you different results, I guess. I don't expect to get the same result twice out of 2 different horses. So they've all got different characteristics, and I get a kick out of all the different characteristics, like that bloke that's chewing on you at the moment, who used to chase the last bloke out of the paddock. He couldn't stand him, so. Get your foot like that. Now that's not naughty. Do that again, put it up here. So,
what's the joy you get from horses?
The joy I get from horses is they ask nothing of me apart from that I don't let them go hungry. And in return for that, they show me their individuality and let me be a part of that with them.
And what have you learnt as a human being from horses?
I have learnt that horses aren't goldfish. The majority of horses, given the right situation, are far more intelligent than most people that own them. Just watching this. They're capable of giving so much more than people can give back to them. They're such a stoic animal. They can go through hell and you wouldn't know there was anything wrong with them. And that's one of their biggest problems or letdowns. If it was a dog or something, they'd yelp 10 times longer before a horse would.
I'm going to ask you again, why do you love horses so much? Why are you surrounded by horses? What led you to this?
What led me to this, to be surrounded by all these horses, was stupidity. I went into horses initially thinking I was going to make money out of them, and being an ex-farm consultant or insultant, the the last thing I ever wanted to do was with anything with people that had horses, because I knew they didn't make you any money. So we accumulated all these horses. They're part of the family. We had nowhere to put them permanently where we were, so we bought this place here for them. We're developing this property along the lines of permaculture, natural sequence farming, the all brick philosophies, and yeomans. So, and where the soil when we came here was basically nothing, you can now see what's happened with a bit of animal population on it, and just a bit of looking after the right way.
Do it again, Smudge. I missed it. Camera stopped. That's it. Up again there. Come on here. Bit of positive R here. Hello, here's a baby. That's nuts. Big black bitch. Everybody's settling now. I'm going to go and put this on computer because you're all so beautiful. You're all so lovely. Look at you frothing at the nose. You'd be frothing at the mouth if you had a bit. You know that, don't you? Yes. Well done, everybody. Good show. Bloody cracker. Thank you very much. Yes, nuts.